she was expecting us to stay by 12 to 1 on his creek. You see that? Probably so. I don't blame her, but if I hadn't, well, I can text her and see if she wants me to. Now I remember to go ahead and start helping her headache. The only thing is, I can't figure, most of the time, I think, I kinda want it in my left ear, cause I lay on my right ear more, but the only thing is I have those two already in there. So I might need to get it done on this ear.
I hate hearing my talking voice over a microphone, so I pull my hand out and I'm like, the shipper told me, looked at me, like, what? I don't mind singing in the microphone, I don't like talking in the microphone.
Yeah.
And then the one time I did speak up, she kept looking, she looked at me like, yeah, participating, and I did speak up, nobody could hear me. Next time you get it. Don't make it too loud.
What is that we was talking about, what God was ringing in the ears? I don't know, I wrote all my stuff on flashcards, my definition on flashcards last night. Cause I said, I'm gonna start studying early, cause I didn't feel good about that test yesterday.
Oh my God.
I went
would've
over
got
the
up pretty darn early
PowerPoint.
yesterday.
I went, well, you should've said something to me. I talked to her for a minute and then, like, I went back home to Mama, but Mama had the baby, so man, I really didn't have to rush. But, oh, I went over the PowerPoint, I did like they said, I went over Quizlet, and there's still shit up there that I hadn't seen. I was telling them yesterday, I didn't get to see you, cause you park over here, so
Yeah.
when we stand over here and talk, we don't get to talk, but,
I might start working on it, I just got in the habit of doing, I wouldn't think about it.
well, now it don't, it's not hard to get a parking spot over here, so, but, yeah, I talked to Miss Shippen yesterday, cause I had questions, well, this past week's been really hard on my nerves, you know, I told you that I've been on nerve medication and stuff, and, Byron has mentioned several different times about me quitting this, that, and the other, and it's not that originally I started thinking about it, cause he mentioned it again Sunday, and Saturday night. But Wesley got really sick Sunday, and he's been warm sick, you know, he's sicker than he's been the whole time he's been born, and, I don't know, I haven't told anybody that how it's been affecting my back pain, yeah, I told you so.
There's three of us.
Just like that, and, and the way.
Yeah, I look at it.
Going on Monday, he's gonna make it,
So, we are here, and I thank y'all for coming, small but powerful. We are here for the sustainability, sustainable art workshop, and we're actually gonna make some sustainable art. Of course, this thing and I, we want to fight today. There we go. So we just had a really good conversation about what is sustainability. So I know I don't need to ask y'all, what is sustainability? And there has been a movement, kind of running around. It's been a very popular movement. Of course, it's going to do that to me. I did some editing on this, and I can use my old one. Hopefully, unless it ruined it. So when we talk about doing that, when we talk about recycling things, there are things around us. We're always encouraged to recycle. Some of us, I know I tend to wonder, well, what happens to the art? What happens to that stuff? What happens when we recycle, but what goes to it? And there are some commercials now that kind of talk about that we get this little voice about the person, we hear this little voice talking about how they want to be a hero, and they were told, oh, you might not ever be anything great, and they end up coming back as something else, something pretty wonderful. So we think about sustainable art and then how to make it. We're going to do two very simple things today, and still get out at 9:50 because we got a great session coming in here at 10. So when we think about what is sustainable art, some of those things that are recycled, they are actually made into new things. It could be that water bottles are made into a water bottle again, or a can is recycled and it becomes part of a girder that holds up a bridge. Some things, though, they're saved and they're meant to be loved. And we tend to think about sustainable art. I think of it as crafts or artwork that is created by using recycled material. Have y'all ever seen anything that you've gone, wow, I didn't know they could do that with that? I have. I'm going to show y'all some of it. I'll show you where you can get some and see some fairly locally. So what can we use? I want to see if y'all can help me out. Don't make me talk the whole time. I should stay right in front of the camera, I guess. Can y'all think of what you can use junk mail for? To repurpose it for something? I wish I had brought me a piece of junk mail.
And use it for paper again.
We could make notepads with it. One of my favorite things to do is cut the corners off of it at an angle and make bookmarks. And you can decorate them and design them, and you always have something. I really should have brought some junk mail, some scrap mail. Yeah. You sometimes will get these things that they're like the little fake credit cards.
Yes.
You could use those. You can paint on those. You can decoupage on those. Punch a hole in it. Give your kids something to paint on it, and let the kids paint on it. And you've got a piece of artwork with you all the time. Aluminum foil. What can we do with aluminum foil other than put it over our takeout meals? I've seen it used as a background for things. I've seen it used to create art. I've seen people ball it up and dip it in paint and then throw it on the canvas. Scrabble tiles. What can we do with Scrabble tiles? Y'all see me looking in my little bag of tricks.
You can take them and use them and glue them to like a canvas and make art out of them like that.
I've seen seen necklaces made with these. I've seen earrings, I've seen magnets. That's what we're gonna try to do. You can get your name and make you a magnet. There are so many different things you can do with that. I've seen coasters made with them too. You get a little piece of cardboard, or a little piece of cork that maybe came off of something that the cork fell off of, and you glue stuff on it and make a little coaster with it. Broken china. What can you do with broken china?
The
Make a
word
net-
is blown out of my head, but they break them up and then you make them into a tabletop.
Mhm.
I can't remember.
Mosaics?
Yeah, mosaic, yeah.
You can do a mosaic, you can do a piece of, you can do a necklace. I loved a kid, one of my things I got for Valentine's Day was a little Dremel tool, which is a little handheld woodworking tool. And I loved a kid and said, nothing says love like a power tool. And I know I've got a broken plate at home. I'm gonna drill a little hole in it and smooth out the edges and put a little bit around it and make a necklace with it, or I've seen people with little rings that they've made out of it. Plastic bags, like this.
You use them as trash bags.
You can use them as trash bags.
Don't they make them into shoes?
Yeah, some
Shoe
people can
soles?
make them into shoes. Get enough of these, and see, they even encourage you to recycle it. Get enough of these, you can make cloth. I've seen people make really, really sturdy paper bags, make really, really sturdy bags out of this. I've seen them make cloth with it. I've seen them do a lot of different kinds of art with it. I've seen people just ball them up too and paint with them. What about buttons? How could you recycle buttons into something new?
Earring.
I forgot my earring. Yeah, you can make earrings or necklaces. I've got a friend who I was talking to her, I said, I'm gonna do something on sustainable art, and she said, she was showing me some of her earrings, and she said, oh, I made those out of buttons. And she's made necklaces, and I saw a belt made out of buttons. I've seen bracelets made out of buttons. Toilet paper rolls. What can you do with toilet paper rolls? What?
I forgot, 'cause
There's a lot.
I can't remember, there was something,
You can make puppets like for kids.
Yeah,
make one,
Puppets.
yeah, we can make puppets for kids. We can use them to wrap up small gifts. You get those little boxes like,
Maracas out of it.
yeah, you make maracas. You can do a lot of things with toilet paper. I've got a friend who she paints with them. She dips them in paint and she puts them like that.
My son just had a seventh grade project, it's called an egg drop project.
Yes,
And they used the toilet paper rolls
yeah.
to try to design it where when they dropped it, the egg didn't crack.
I know at one of the, I had mentioned in the last session that Phi Theta Kappa is working on global things. And that was actually one of the things they had to do at one of their conferences. They were talking about the egg drop things. We've talked about cardboard, a lot of the things we can do with cardboard. Mint tins, like Altoid tins. Put change in them.
and whatever.
I've seen people make those little miniature things that the little kids, the older kids might play with. Newspapers, that's easy. We make paper mache.
Or wrap presents.
Wrap presents. I know people who do found poetry on those, or blackout, they call it blackout poetry. They'll just cover up, a lot of parts of the page with black, with a Sharpie usually, and they'll leave certain words. They just pick certain words to leave. Cans, like vegetable cans.
You use them as a pencil holder.
Exactly. You can use them as a pencil holder. You can use them for a lot of different things. Soda cans. Earrings. You can make earrings with them. You can make necklaces. I know a lot of folks, a lot of schools collect the pull tabs to give to dialysis centers.
I've seen people make, and sell them, you know, those things that whirl around, like outside the wind
Mm-hmm.
and stuff.
Burned out light bulbs. Not those swirly ones, but the good old fashioned ones. You can make a Christmas ornament out of those, or you can make some art. You paint it white, and then you could draw on it with a Sharpie. You could make a snowman out of it. You could you put a little bit of wire around where the screw top is, and you can glue a little thing at the top. Egg cartons,
Jewelry boxes, I know that's one thing, is
jewelry
jewelry boxes.
boxes.
Yeah, the color, the blue one, pink one, whatever, jewelry boxes.
Put the paint in there for the kids to
Yes.
work on and stuff.
We can make little toys for them too, like caterpillars and.
My husband saves ours and just gives them to people that have chickens.
Yes, that's what I do with mine. I have a friend who has chickens, so I save mine for him. Cereal boxes.
Excuse me, what does he do with the box, what the cart, what do you do with it?
You save it to give it to people with chickens.
I never what, I
They
understand.
put the eggs for the chickens in
Oh,
there.
okay,
So
okay,
they like.
recycle it, okay.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
want to like give it to, or sell them.
Okay, I
sell their
didn't
chicken eggs.
understand what you were saying.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you meant you put the feed in it
Oh,
or something.
no,
I
no,
didn't
no.
know.
You probably could. Cereal boxes. I can think of a couple different things we can do with those. I actually do one in my art studio. I cut it at an angle, and I covered it with masking tape, and it's an organizer now. It holds my stickers that I use. I know people though who they've cut it and they've used some other recycled paper. They'll combine it and really do it. They'll find an old rubber band, and they'll cut their favorite part of the cereal box and make that the cover, and they'll do notepads with it. I've seen people make purses. Magazines, we got so many different uses we could do with them. I know people who will cut the pages out and roll them up and make a wreath with them. We can use them as part of another artwork. Tuna cans. Can y'all think of what we might do with tuna cans? I have seen them with holes poked in them. You poke holes in them, you put a little tea light in the middle, and there is a beautiful little candle holder. Popsicle sticks, I think, is easy. We could move past that. Good old popsicle sticks. More. I got more with this. Kind of opening the mind. Thread spools. What could you do with thread spools? Think Christmas ornaments. Take your little thread spool, your little empty thread spool, put you a nice little thing of some washi tape, put you a nice little thing of put you some little embellishments. Go get them 50% off at the craft store. Even I've seen them with Christmas with little bows coming out the bottom of them. Nice Christmas ornaments. Sale papers. I think same thing with magazines. The wine corks. I have more than this.
I've seen people make like, letters or symbols or stuff out of them. My sister-in-law actually did, for one of her friends' wedding, she took and glued it to like the and symbol. Glued like a letter and, you know, the names, and she had put it all over those.
Mine had reindeer out of them, they were selling, they had a piece of tree log, and they had reindeer made out of them, they were
Mhm.
selling them at a craft fair.
I had a student yesterday who, he told me, I don't think he sent me the picture, but he said he made, he cut them up and, made a tabletop out of them. The thing that we might do, if time allows, I got one for each of y'all, is, I've seen keychains made with them. And you can embellish them, you can make them really pretty, you can make them just really plain. And it recycles something else we might get stuck with. The, wine bottles, what can you do with those? We make vases.
Ship in a bottle.
Sips in a bottle, we can
have
do,
centerpieces for like weddings.
yeah, I've seen people do centerpieces with them, I've seen people do, I've seen people make lamps out of them, I've seen
Yes,
people
lamps.
cut them and make glasses with them. So many different things you can do. Bottle caps. What can you do with bottle caps? Jewelry.
The metal ones, I've seen a belt made out of them.
We can make a belt, we can, I've seen the, I forget what you call them, I'm terrible with that. String them and they're like a curtain.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen people make wreaths with them too. Milk cartons. Tweet, tweet. To give a hint.
Birdhouses.
Birdhouses. Plastic takeout boxes. Not the styrofoam now, the plastic ones. Cut the top of them, and you can make sun catchers. You can make jewelry. Plastic silverware.
Yeah, what can we do?
Same sort of thing.
What?
You can, I've seen people make jewelry with them.
Plastic's different.
I've seen people, put holes in them and they'll make like wind catchers with them. Soda bottles, same sort of thing I said like with the wine bottles. Silverware, real silverware, wind chimes, jewelry.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
You know, the spoon rings. I've seen, one of the latest things, I've actually seen these being sold, made like this in Hobby Lobby. They make, the hooks with them. I've seen people do, I mean, there are so many different things. Essential oil bottles, they're about this big.
Yeah.
And you get, anybody who loves them like me, we get stuck with the leftovers. They're little tiny things, and you can put one flower in them. You can, I've seen people who did the wind chimes with them again. Vitamin bottles.
I really need that.
I did the most brilliant thing with it. I did, one of the things I have loved to do with it. I know some people who, the smaller ones, like the little orange with the safety caps,
Yeah.
they glue a rock to the top of it and they bury it. And if you get locked out of your house, you can put the key there. The thing that I do with them that I really, really love, I call it it's called a purse trash can. Use some scraps of, like scrapbook paper or decoupage or a pretty napkin, something that's a scrap. And you decoupage it, you Mod Podge it to the vitamin bottle, and you put it in your pocketbook, and it catches things in your pocketbook. Like if you throw a receipt in there, you can't, I'm one, I don't like to litter, so, when I go to my Chick-fil-A to get my fix of my chicken nuggets, and I get my little Purell cleaner, sometimes I get a little extra one, well, they owe me, because I got my hands real nasty with their chicken nuggets.
Right.
So I'll have one of those for emergency purposes, and I'll get stuck with it sometimes. So I throw it in the little purse trash can, and it's not in there anymore. Compact discs and DVDs, especially those that don't work. We can make
The hanging ones.
Yeah, we can make hanging ornaments with them. Do some art on them. Books. Breaks my heart. I couldn't do it unless the book was absolutely falling apart.
I saw somebody make a, book end out of it, so you
Mhm.
would hold your books up and.
You can make a
glue
book
it.
end. We had some old hymnals at my church that were, they were a little worse for the wear, and they made, they folded the pages and made hymn angels out of them. Put a little head, glued a little head on, a little bit of Spanish moss, and made a book angel out of it. Detergent and lotion bottles. I stepped over to the socket to give you a hint. What do we love to place in our sockets now? We'll just do some.
The Scentsy stuff, the old.
You can put the Scentsy stuff, but 9 times out of 10, when folks are in here, you think they got laptops plugged in here?
Cell phone.
We can have a little something, we can cut the bottle and put a little hole in the top of it, and it holds our cell phone, so our cell phone's not on the floor. Yeah. Baby food jars, I think, is easy. All of us, when we were in school, probably did the baby food jars. You know, with the go get your favorite beach sand and paint it. And, old socks and gloves. We can make sock puppets. We can make something else with some of them. I've got a friend, you do too.
Okay.
Who she gets those. She makes sock monkeys. You might know who I'm talking
Yeah, I
about,
know
Miss
you're
Ann.
talking
And I've seen little teddy bears made with them too, especially if it was a very much loved sock. A dolly, we can do a lot of neat little things with that. So, let's see if I got one more slide of that. I did.
Wow.
Got it. I'm telling you, there's a lot, we never think of this stuff, do we? What could you do with an old watch? Think about what shape the watch face is. It's round. If we can't, and I know I've gotten stuck with some watches that won't work, no matter what.
Yes.
I got stuck with my grandmother's watches. She went through some watches for a while, and when she passed, somebody gave me. They said, do you have something that she used to wear? Do you have one of her old watches? And I said, yes, I do. And I gave it to them, and they said, do you have a picture? And I said, yes, I do. They gave it back to me with her picture in it.
Oh.
They had put her picture in it and put a little bit of decoration around it. Yeah, so it was like a bracelet. Sticks. I think that one's pretty easy. We pick them up and we hang stuff with them, or we break them and make them into other things. The leaves, I actually saw this one, and I know it's hard. We could say, oh, well, paint them, or oh, press them in a book. Get you one of those little, the little shaped hole punches and punch the leaf. And so you have little heart-shaped leaves or little star-shaped leaves. Sponges, I think, are easy. We can use them to make art. I actually have something that I used a dish brush for to make. I painted a little daffodil, and I painted the little stem and made the daffodil with the seeds ready to, the dandelion, there we go. Yeah. So that was the dish brushes. Paper plates. I use them as a palette when I'm painting. And when I'm done, I just toss it away.
On the paper plates, I remember being at the flower show, the Philadelphia Flower Show,
Mhm.
and one section had paper plate, and I know you've seen this before,
Mhm.
With the different words on, in a circle.
Mhm.
I thought that was neat, so
Yes.
I decided to do one for myself. Would you write whatever you want, like you would write the 10 Commandments on it, and but it's in a circle, in that paper plate. Is that
Yes.
something you use?
Art. We make art with it. Paper cups. We do a lot of things with dollhouse furniture. I know people who will make the little scenes with that. Jar lids. We combine these and we can make little owl faces or bird faces with them. I know people who will make flowers out of coffee filters and cupcake liners. They'll do a lot of neat little things with cupcake liners.
With the metal, you can put them on the bottom end of your cabinet,
Mhm.
so you can screw the bottom part of the jaw,
Mhm.
draw into them as like a door or whatever.
What about rocks? I got two things I do with rocks. My little nephew, he loves necklaces. I'm not sure why. He just does. And he found a rock that he really loved, so I dremeled the rock and made him a little necklace with it. A little boyish looking necklace, because he's 7. Old sweaters, old jeans.
Yeah.
Making the shoes.
Yes, she's making the shoes. She's doing the presentation about that at 10 o'clock in here. So that's why I have to get out. The old sweaters, you can make a pair of gloves with them. You can make the animals. Plastic lids. I do a lot of neat little things with plastic lids. Little frisbees. I use them sometimes as little coasters. So we see a lot of different things we can do. I promise no more. So this is something, and I want to see if y'all can see what it is. One of my students, when I was saying what we were going to be doing, I was hoping he'd come. He said, "Oh, Miss Millie, I do palette art." He said, "Do you know what that is?" I said, "I certainly do. Wood palettes. We have a class here at ECC. One of our continuing ed classes. It's a palette art class. They make benches, and some people will make wall art with them. He makes dulcimers, and he makes ukuleles. Can y'all tell me what that is that he did?
Yes, bedpan.
Yeah, he used a bedpan and put and he recycled if I remember correctly too, he recycled the neck of the ukulele to do that, and the palette, you can see the palette sticking out from under it, so it's technically still palette art. I think he used part of the palette for the string board. I should know that better because I can't play guitar. So the list can go on and on with this. Be creative. We're gonna see. Y'all gonna be creative. So I've got a couple different places you can go and you can see some sustainable art. This one, they're both open today. Beller Artisan Center opens in about 21 minutes. It's open tomorrow too. It's about a block and a half away from us. Very nice place to go. It's Beller Artisan Center. It's on 115 South Church Street, just a couple lots that way. Kid you not. I've walked to it on some nice sunny days sometimes. Y'all ever notice that building?
I've been there.
Yeah.
I know that, yes.
I go there every
I was
Saturday.
in historical preservation for 10 years,
Yes.
so I think when her husband, when they moved here, they had to come to the historical preservation to get
Yeah.
permission and all to do this.
Yes.
So I've been there since, do you have a studio there?
Yes.
Okay, I've been there with the different studios.
Yes.
It's absolutely wonderful.
Yes. My studio is probably like on the other side of that wall right there. It's pretty close up to the front. So that's one place you can go to see sustainable art. Jumping out of this for a second, I had a couple of websites called up. One of we see this is Red Oak Wood Shop, and they show the whole building for this, but this part of the building here was sold recently, and there's going to be a restaurant coming in what those two ladies have done. It's two ladies who, one of them is a retired educator, one of them is a retired art teacher, and they have just had fun with, and there's one of them, you see her reviving the wood. They'll pull that wood, and if you've been to Koi Pond Brewery in Rocky Mount, their bar, they did their bar. I think they did their sign too. They're doing a lot in the Mill Village. And we see some of the things they've got there, like there's a small pine table. There's a vintage, it's a furniture cart that you can use like a table. There's a pub table. I loved that table. It's perfect for an ADHD person because they can stand there and pump their foot, and it doesn't do anything. It just expends their energy. And those are gorgeous. They take these boards. You see, they tell you about with the pub table. It's pleasing pub table. It's also fun to pedal. The base is a turn of the century treadle from Miller Falls Tool Company. The boards are true heart pine tongue and groove floorboards from the 1800s. There's a sled table. There's a white oak table, and they will leave things to let you see the story behind it. So there's a free table, and you can see one of the things that they do on the free table. It used to be a sewing machine, and they put beams on top of it, and then they decorated it with some insulator lamps. So it's really fascinating to see them. One of the other places you can go to see, and there's some of their things like the sewing table, the recycled insulator lamps. And I put the recycled insulator lamps there because it lets me jump to the next place that's a wonderful place to go, which is, and there's some of the assemblage artwork that they've done. Can y'all tell what that is? What that green thing is?
Is it a door or?
It's a door. It's a door.
Oh, you mean the flat, yeah.
Yes, it's a door. And then they put it on a cart, and they've got assemblage artwork on top of it.
I see people take them old panel windows and make,
Mhm.
sticker
That's
frames
something
out of
our,
'em.
that's something our historic preservation program does. This is a wreath made with dried okra, and this is some assemblage using Scrabble tiles. And if y'all can look and see, y'all may not be able to see right there very well. I will tell you. She's called it No Words Between Us. She found these little things and made the little table and chairs out of it, and then had a bunch of Scrabble tiles. So she just dumped Scrabble tiles on there, and if y'all can see the price on that,
No, was it?
$285. I will tell you though, not everything at Bel Air Artisan Center is $285. They've got recycled things running as low as 50 cents. I know, they're mine. So, one of the other things, one of the reasons why I pointed out the table lamps, the insulator lamps, is if you're in Tarboro, a really great place to go to see sustainable art is Creative Salvage. It's on Pitt Street. It's run by the Herring family.
And Mr. Stephen Herring.
Yes, they were here yesterday, and Mr. Herring's resting today, which is a good thing that he should do. They have an Etsy store, and it's part of what I like about that too, about both of these places actually, is that they're family efforts usually. The two ladies, they're partners, and who do this. One of them used to be here at the college. That's how I met her. And then here's the Creative Salvage store. Even their sign is salvaged. They are about a lot more than just doing, than just making the artwork and selling it. They'll go out, they process scrap, they recycle. That was really how they got started. And we see the quote from Mr. Herring there, and I like it because it's a family company, but I like it because they do something else too. We see they go out to the industrial sites and they'll do a pick like you see on TV, and then they'll do demolition, they do removal, they'll do they e-cycle, they do so many different things. There's Mrs. Herring, and there's Peter, Mr. Herring's son. But the neat thing too is if you look at the philosophy, it's got a lot of things from Mr. Herring. You can really tell it's all about his. It's kind of looking at the about us. They're about doing the sustainability that way, but Peter is autistic, and he was having trouble keeping a job. But now, with doing this, he can he kind of sets his own hours. He can keep he's flourishing, and it's a big business model, and it's not just the art. So we can see it's cleaning up the world. It gives Peter something. It gives Peter something to do. And we see there is with they have an Etsy store, and look at the things they've got up there on their store. They've got they tell you what it's made of, like a lantern, a pipe flute, cast iron, a tap and die, chains, glass insulators. We see that one is $90, and you get a one-of-a-kind thing too. So as you guys can see, it is pretty, and there's our owners, and there's Peter, who I was telling you about. It was kind of starting out by Mr. Herring, who has the passion, who kind of likes treasure hunting, and wanted to give his son a career. So as you guys can see, it is fairly easy, fairly quick to make sustainable art. With the 2 minutes that we have, y'all might have to help me. I know some names in here. I'm gonna leave you with something, and you tell me what you want to be left with. Would you rather have a magnet or a keychain? I hear magnet. Anybody else? A keychain?
What, would we have to make, you saying we have to make it?
No, I will make it for you to make it quicker. Just to show you how quick it is. We're gonna see how well my little plan's gonna work.
Okay.
I've just got these little magnets that I bought at Hobby Lobby.
Okay.
You said you wanted a keychain, right?
Right.
Okay,
You wanna
give
add-
me one of your initials. T, I got one right here. And you wanted a magnet, right? It's gonna be a little tiny magnet, and it's gonna be, as you can see, it's gonna be a very quick magnet. I got my little Scrabble thing, I flip it over, got my little magnet, oh, it's gonna be perfect. I love it when a good plan comes together. And we just press it on the back. See, that's plastic. And there you go. All of 30 seconds. Which one did you want?
I think a magnet.
A magnet, what's
R.
R, okay. See, and if you wanted one, I could have spelled art. That would have been cool. Of course, we said R?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Donna, which one do you want? You want a magnet too? Do you want a D or a B? Okay. Dr. Starnes, do you want a magnet or a keychain? Okay, do you want H, A, or S?
I gotta choose?
Or a D for
That's a
Dr.
false trichotomy. How about all three?
I mean,
He
they'll
wants
choose.
one eye.
How about H? I'll take H.
H. Here's our
Before-
R.
Thank you.
Dumping it out, making it messy up here. That's what I do though. You know I've been there when the mess is there. Of course, it's gonna dump out everything but an H and a D. There's the H. See if I can find my D. Start spelling funny little words up here. F-O-L. There, I got folk spelled up here. It's what English teachers do. There's my D. And I will have to make you your keychain, because
I'll get it.
we can clear, I said, I'll be able to I'll give it to you. Give me 5 extra minutes. And to save myself steps. Kim, do you want a magnet or a keychain? Okay. They'll say dinner for that. But Mr. Basin has lost track of time there. Of course, I need to restick that one. The nice thing about it is these are easy enough to restick if I need to. Here's my H and there's my D.
Now, is there going to be a game that I will not be able to participate in if I don't have one?
No. That's
You weren't having any fun.
Thank
It's
you.
just a gift from Sustainable Art, Kim.
It was
Oh.
sustainable art.
Oh,
Yeah, you do not have to participate in that.
And I brought stuff, I was very well, I think I was too well prepared. Cause I brought stuff, we could have made wine quart, keychains, we did the magnets, the Scrabble magnets. I thought it was a little too messy to do the Scrabble, coasters. But thank y'all for coming. Sit right, if you stay right in here, in about 7 minutes, Mississippi Wagner will be in here. And there's also a session, at, in the Barnes Auditorium where we started, that's a panel discussion about the globalization of education. What can we do here at ECC? How can we help you and make it better? If y'all need to sign in, but again, I'm gonna remember who was here for me. But you can sign in for Mr. Basil too. Thank you for coming. Enjoy the rest of the symposium. We've got a 10 o'clock session and 11 o'clock session.
Very good.
I'm looking forward to the 11 o'clock session myself. And I will make sure the shipping gets over here and I don't leave my flash drive. I'm so good with doing that. I get so excited about what I've done. I try to leave my flash drive. I wish I could stay in here, hear Susie's presentation. I have to watch it.
no worries.
Y'all have a great day. Thanks, Carol.
He's a state
That's what my daughter would do.
Yeah, you may speak.
I've kind of been, I wanted to go with engineering, so it's
I thought we had it too.
situation, I don't think that's too bad. But, what I've been doing is taking place It's a tough night.
I'm just gonna hold it. Do you want me to move it toward the camera end? Is it better to do it then? All right, so let's just, all I have to do is move it. Like that. We need to do, sir. Oh, yeah. Wow. I'll try not to face.
And there's a lot of gas.
That's my favorite. I just guess, I think we just have to sign it.
We need this, does anybody else need this? Or we the only one?
It was just like, yeah, yours. You probably, you don't need to sign it, do you, Michael? Have you, gotten permission to sign?
Very ideal.
I know.
We're leaving at 7. We should be back by 4, right? I think so.
Oh, it's running like a scoring tape? Yeah.
I can't get it. Have I told you we had our readings yesterday? House floor, it passed our errors and stuff. So that's
So
done.
close to the new court and then-
That's about it. I will see it on my time.
Yeah, that's a good point. I really hadn't thought about that, but it's true. We had discussed on that, we were, what is,
actually bigger than Gil.
But
Why did he think he was going to check? I'm trying to remember what he said. I gave him your email.
Smoke out of the tank.
And so.
Now, if,
Not that
if
it's-
the English chair is a piece of.
Seems like we had a conversation on the phone, so let's look and see if we had a conversation.
I don't remember how I talked to him, but I know that I talked to him.
And we could, but now, Lily's,
I think mine has time to start.
that'll give you more space.
I must have to.
I didn't know if mine had to keep this.
Problem, the reason she was looking at it, because she was working, sometimes scans a lot of stuff.
But it acted like a computer. You know, if I walk up to the car, everything was off.
We can probably
Something
at least.
happened, so. So I told.
Every time I talk about it,
It was fine, it just, now it's a long.
I think my car has heat, let's go, and start stuff. Your dad says that's not a possibility.
Or is there a,
My car does have heat. That's cool, where does the button plug? Directly in the ignition? I said, yes, but don't.
kind of look around?
I just watched a video on how that works. Crazy how they
Depends
do
on
that.
which offer, yeah.
Still learning from mom.
What's closer to home?
Dad
Yeah,
says
that-
it doesn't exist because his started.
I don't know, there's more stuff there, I think.
Ha-ha, he also doesn't have a backup camera, so that must not be a thing either. He's right on top of technology. So I must talk to him on that.
oh, that's hysterical.
So my mother, I think, so I think, put it in the car.
It's kind of where is that shade?
So I had.
There's actually a shade.
Yeah, we couldn't listen to retirement. Too bad you couldn't listen to retirement.
Yeah, I believe I thought about it, it just, you know, and I read the paper, it was like, they put a glass transmission out of the air, and they come out, and I guess they had cops all over the place looking.
Just do it.
I thought you were supposed to start at 10.
What time is it?
Fire trucks.
10:08?
He was-
Well, then I better start.
Now hopefully, now Pete's gonna be the acting chief, the sheriff guy.
Remember that you retired, didn't you?
No, I told him.
So Barbara Bonap tells me that I am to start at 10 o'clock, and it is now 10:08. I'm supposed to stand over here and not move a whole lot, so that's gonna be the most difficult part for me. So we'll get started. I am Susie Shippen Wagner, and I am the program chair for surgical technology.
You want the back screen down? so you
Do
can
I want
see?
the back screen down? No, that'd be fine. All of this technology, my gosh. What is it, Kim?
Do you have to use a microphone?
Do I have to be heard?
I'm asking.
I don't know.
I
Where's
think-
Tyler?
Can you hear?
If you can hear it, then Nick Welch can, I think.
Oh, he's doing his thing. You're good, George? You can hear me?
Yeah,
Everything?
I'm
If it
spoiled.
doesn't make live feed, I'm really okay with that. But anyway, I digress. So we've been talking about the world and sustainability and those kinds of things. And so most of us Americans this morning probably have a very nice home. Everybody have a house in here? Probably not a mud thatch somewhere. We probably have something other than dirt on our floors. How many of you had to decide between two different pairs of shoes today? Or at least one different. Now, my husband would say I probably had a choice of like 50 or so, but I digress. We also probably have a full closet full of clothes, and every day we go to our closet, we pick out our favorite pair of shoes for whatever the outfit of the day is going to be. And we are blessed to have this. And there's really nothing wrong with that, to an extent, all right? But we should also remember that somewhere in the world, at this very moment, there are children and adults that are beginning their day, and they barely have enough to wear or to eat. They have no clean water, and they have no shoes. Shoes can actually change lives. People work and children play and they go around their business all day long, either in mud or in desert sand or rocks, whatever the case may be. And so for those of us who are in healthcare, we know that damaged feet, scrapes and cuts and things of that nature, damaged feet are just a pathway for a pathogen. You can
ask any diabetic out there, and they'll tell you how important their feet are and how important it is that they take care of their feet appropriately. And so feet can change lives, shoes can change lives. Feet are the primary place for simple infections to start, and it's a perfect home for parasites. And so by being educated on parasites, learning how to wash your feet appropriately, wearing a pair of closed-toed shoes, children and adults can avoid many of the illnesses and conditions that are in their country. But in some of the very remote areas of Africa and the slums and villages, there are no such things as closed-toed shoes. And then these infections are going to cause a lot of great deal of infection. When we look at this, it seems like everyone is happy and healthy and doing well, doesn't it? And I'm not going to lie, as a healthcare professional, these are going to get a little graphic. Okay? So what are we talking about? What we want to talk about today is something called a jigger. Okay? Now, this is not a chigger like you and I would get if we're playing around in the backyard in the grass and we get chigger bites. Okay? This is a jigger. African children become seriously infected with jiggers, and what is it? It's a very small sand flea. They enter the bare feet and they burrow into the skin. Now, if left untreated, jiggers become a huge problem. They lead to these infections. It can also lead to paralysis. It can lead to amputations and death. Millions of children in Eastern Africa have this issue. All right? So what happens? So here's our jigger, not actual size, otherwise that would just be ginormous, right? But there's our jigger, there's our sand flea. They're all females that do this, by the way. And she is going to find and burrow into either the feet or the hands, anywhere that she can find a warm blood. She's going to get into that area and she's going to lay eggs. Okay? Now, over time, the eggs multiply and then they destroy the soft tissue. And then this resulting wound is what is prone to that infection and other diseases. Okay? When it's time to reproduce, this female jigger attaches to the nearest warm-blooded mammal that she can find. She just needs an available soft place to bite, and then she burrows herself in, head first, looking for blood. It's kind of like our tick, isn't it? Okay? So in the next couple of weeks, she's going to feed off of the blood. She's going to grow a blister around her that usually causes a great deal of pain. And then the jigger egg sac continues to grow, severely damaging the feet. And now we have stolen this person's ability to walk, whether it is to work or to school, or to play, or to even get water if there's water available somewhere else in the village. So their ability to lead a normal life at this point has been taken away from them. From something as simple as a parasitic sand flea or a jigger. So what happens? One egg turns into a bunch of eggs. And then they get on these hands and feet. And it becomes this vicious cycle where one egg becomes a bunch of eggs, becomes another living female jigger, and the cycle continues. Okay? One female sand flea jigger can produce literally hundreds of thousands of eggs. They fall to the ground to hatch. And then the tiny fleas look for the nearest warm-blooded mammal to bite and move in. And where do you suppose they find that? That's exactly where Mom is living right now. And so they attack the very same host that hatched them. And When the many attach themselves, the child begins having trouble walking because of the intense pain. And again, this can happen anywhere on the body, not just the hands and feet, but the majority of the time, the infestation starts at the foot. So what can we do? What can happen? Where do we start? So how we can start is an organization that's called Soul Hope. This is an organization based out of North Carolina. This is a young couple who went to Uganda and saw this problem and thought, this can't be happening. In this century, somewhere on this planet, this is so easily fixed. What can we do and how do we start? So the first thing that they decided to do was to go into villages and they start doing foot washings. So we take water, doesn't have to be potable water, any kind of water will do. And the children will line up and we will start doing foot washings. We just start washing feet. Seems simple. Once we get all of the children's feet washed, we can identify where the infection process is taking place. See where the jiggers are, okay? The children line up, and they're always greeted with a happy face that will help them wash their feet, and then we will carry them to the next place. They don't have shoes yet. We don't want them to get their feet dirty because we just got them clean. So we'll just piggyback them, and we'll take them where they need to go. There's a charting system available, and the reason we do the charting is twofold. The first reason you want to chart is to make sure that we take care of the infestation that we have currently, all right? So we're going to chart this and see where the jiggers are, where the infection is taking place, and what we need to extricate today. But this also starts a chart for the next time that we come to the village. We have an opportunity to check and see, did it come back in the same place? Is it a new place? Is there some place that we need to double check to make sure that everything is being taken care of appropriately? Okay? So they start a chart for these children or these adults who come so that we have an idea of their treatment process as we go along. And then we start digging jiggers. Please know that this is not a painless process. The country of Uganda does not currently allow for any kind of painkiller to go with us. We can't take a topical lidocaine. We cannot take an injectable bupivacaine, Marcaine, anything like that. We can do this, but we have to do it without anesthesia or local of any kind. Now, one of the issues with a serious infestation is that not only does it get into the soft tissue, but it starts to burrow, get into the bloodstream as well, all right? And then we have nerve damage as well. So is it painful? Sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't because all of that soft tissue has been killed. But what we'll do is we will start to dig these jiggers out of these children. We'll use razor blades, we'll use safety pins, we'll use scalpel blades, whatever we can get our hands on, and we will clean it and use it to dig these jiggers out. The little lollipops are called sweets in Uganda. Just a little dum-dum, that's all. But this kind of takes their attention away from what we're doing, actually, and so that works very well. They love stickers. And this happens in all shapes and sizes, obviously. We can go from the very, very young to the very old as well. Once we have our feet washed and we're getting our jiggers taken care of, that area where we have been treating will be exterminated, as it were. And we do have chemicals that are available to us to be able to do that in that area. Now, we cannot do an entire village. We cannot do just a home, but we can do the treatment area itself. And so that's what happens next. Infestations have been so bad that we have seen egg sacs hanging off the walls of mud wall with a thatched roof and a dirt floor. And so you can see the problem in how this cycle can continue if we don't treat as we go along and try to maintain this infestation to a minimum. This is a typical cooking hut. There is a hole in the top that will allow the smoke to ventilate. What I found really interesting about this photograph was that when I was in Guatemala, the big issue was respiratory issues in Guatemala. Even though they had the dirt floor, the big problem was respiratory issues because they did not put a hole in the roof and all of the smoke stayed inside. So we had all of the people with asthma, allergies, bronchitis, chronic cough, all of these kinds of issues. Whereas in Africa, they knew to ventilate it out the top, and so this is their typical cooking. So it's very interesting when you go from different continents and different cultures, exactly who has figured what out. This is your typical slum in Uganda. You'll see that there's no formal trash pickup. There's no running water. And so coming into the village just to wash feet is a huge thing for them, because running water is not something that they see on a daily basis. And this is something that they take a great deal of pride in their homes and in themselves, and being able to be clean. And so being able to provide this service is a very, very big thing. Typical home. The children line up. They love the fact that they're going to have their feet washed. They love the fact that we have sweets and stickers. They love the fact that they're going to get a new pair of shoes today, and they know that when they come and get signed up. So what can we do? What's a pair of shoes cost? I mean, we could send a whole truckload of flip-flops over there at $1 a pair, but that's not going to help. Because the flip-flop is not a closed-toed shoe, it's not going to help. All right? We're talking about sustainability. We're talking about reduce, reuse, recycle. We're talking about being good stewards of what we have. And so one of the things that Soul Hope does is reduce and reuse. And so we're going to take an old pair of jeans. Rick assured me that I could probably do an entire village with one of his pairs.
Maybe two.
I took my husband's favorite pair of working pants. He doesn't
Just
know.
broken in.
Yeah, I mean, they're just now getting good, right? Yeah. He looked at me this morning and he said, "Where are you going with those?" I said, "I'm not going to cut them today." He went, "Today?" Yeah. So we're going to take a pair of jeans. And what we're going to do with this pair of jeans is we're going to go up the seam and we're going to make a pattern. And there's different pattern pieces, and we just cut out these pattern pieces. Okay? And some of these are going to be plastic pieces from your favorite Chinese Tupperware or any other plastic that you may have. Maybe it's a whipped cream topping or what have you. But we're going to make specific pieces, and we're going to take these pieces and put them together and make shoes. So how does this work? We here in the United States can take a pair of jeans and cut out these pieces. We use a safety pin, we put all of the pieces together, and we send it to Uganda. Or we can send it to Salisbury, North Carolina, whichever's easier for you. All right? $10 will make a pair of shoes. That's $1 a toe. Okay? $1 a toe. And what we can do is they use what they call lasts. And a last is a pair of, an old tire tread. Pick them up anywhere. They take an old tire tread. This is the finished product right here after we've cut it with the plastic pieces and things. And then we send all of that, we don't send the tire, but we send the fabric and the $10 per pair, we send that to Uganda. And they are made by a tailor and by a shoe cobbler in Uganda. All right? Us sending a pair of shoes is not employing anyone in Uganda. They're not building hope for themselves. They're not employing themselves. They're not taking pride in helping themselves. But if we take $10 along with that fabric, they will build shoes for themselves. I just want to reiterate that this is not a painless process. This is happening to these children and to these adults through no fault of their own. This is where they live. And so something so simple that we can do to alleviate this pain and this suffering and give these people the opportunity to continue their educations and continue their working and continue to grow and develop. So what happens? The denim pieces are sewn together by the tailor, and he's the one who makes the shoe top. He makes that denim top portion. Okay? And then the shoemaker forms the shoe around the lasts. And the last is that tire tread that we're going to use for the sole of our shoe. And then he puts the soles and the uppers together to make the final product. The shoes are made in Uganda to provide job opportunities for the native people. This gives them the opportunity to not only help their neighbors, but to help themselves. The children at that point are given their new shoes, and they're given also school supplies to help them continue their education after they receive their treatment and their new shoes. They're also taught how to recognize a jigger infestation. Is this happening to me again? Do I need to seek help? Can I take care of it myself? Am I washing my feet properly? And giving them the importance to know, or the information to know, and how important it is to wash their feet appropriately and to take care of their other family members if needed. So how can we help? We can donate old jeans to make shoes, or we can host what we call a shoe cutting party. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to have a shoe cutting party on Earth Day, which is April the 22nd. We're going to have a shoe cutting party. Bring your old jeans and bring a pair of scissors, and we'll get started. You can make a jigger kit to help the volunteers who are in Uganda. So what's a jigger kit? All right? So a jigger kit looks like this. Gallon-sized bag. We put some gloves in there, some cotton balls, alcohol pads, safety pins, Band-Aids, Neosporin, and that's it. We'll put some of these utensils and items in this bag, and this is a field kit. And we can send a field kit like this. Maybe you don't have jeans, maybe you don't cut jeans, maybe you don't sew. That's fine. All of these things are about $1 at your local store. Okay?
You couldn't sneak a little topical painkiller in there? You would think, you know, it's gotta be tough on these kids.
In country, they are allowed to buy a topical painkiller. But the government is in control of that kind of thing, and that's why they don't allow it to come into the country. They want you to buy it from inside the country. And that's not an uncommon thing, Rick. When we go to Guatemala, when we go to the Dominican, when we go to Malawi, all of those things stand the same. They don't want you bringing medication into the country. They want you to buy it there. Now, is that good or is that bad? There's a couple of options with that. Number one, do they have what we need is the question. If they do have what we need, then by all means, let's buy it in country. That's fine. We'll probably get a better price, no doubt. But the issue that we have found is that, let's say for instance, we need propofol because we're gonna be doing surgery in the Dominican Republic. If we buy it there, do we know that it has been stored properly? Because if it has not been stored properly, it's ineffective. So yeah, they'll sell us propofol all day long, but it's no good. So we have to be very careful about, do we try to bring ours in? They don't like that. How many are we bringing? We need to buy some of theirs. Is it any good? So there's a lot of those kinds of things that we have to look at. As far as doing any kind of injectionable, as it were, is that correct? Thank you. Injectable, thank you, I knew that wasn't right. As far as doing any injectable pain medication, they do not allow that in any way. We could do a topical, but nothing injectable. Nothing injected. How else can we help? We can sponsor a pair of shoes. It's $10, all right? We get $10, we send it to Soul Hope, another child gets a pair of shoes. Maybe you wanna do $10 a month. Maybe you wanna do a flat $100 for the year. Maybe you wanna do, I'm gonna sponsor a pair of shoes for a Christmas gift. Whatever the case may be, it's $10 for a pair of shoes. Travel to Africa with Soul Hope. Now that's not for everybody. Not everybody gets all excited about, I'm gonna get on a plane and I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna pick jiggers. That just doesn't look like a whole lot of fun to me. But some folks wanna do that and wanna do that desperately. All right? They always have a need for a strong back to carry the child from point A to point B once we have those feet all washed and cleaned up. We'll take stickers, we'll take dum-dum lollipops, we'll take anything that we can take in order to help these folks. We want to tell everyone we know. Not everyone realizes just how simple a fix this really is, and what a tremendous difference this makes in the lives of these folks. And then you can like Soul Hope on your social media. Folks will ask you, what is it? What's this about? How can I help? Where do we go to help? What can I do? Okay? We've talked a lot about the fact that our world is changing. And it's literally getting smaller, it feels like, because of social media and because of all of the things that are happening. It feels like this shouldn't be my problem. Why do I care about little kids' feet in Uganda? What difference does that make to me? And there's someone who said very long time ago that where much has been given, much is expected. I know all of the things that I have not earned. And privilege is one of them, whether I feel like I'm privileged or not. But our world is changing and getting smaller. Let's utilize some of the resources that we have. What were you going to do with that pair of jeans anyway? All right? It would make a huge difference. It would make a world of difference for a child who does not have a pair of shoes. The folks at Soul Hope can be reached at this address in Salisbury, right here in North Carolina. And they would be very happy to take your money, or take your jeans, or take anything that you would be willing to help them with as far as field kits of medications, cotton balls, safety pins, razor blades, anything at all that we can do. And I'm short and sweet. Any questions, comments, concerns, complaints?
Can we get the kits to you? Are you our go-to person here, or you rather we send them?
You can give them to me and I'm gonna box them up and take them right to Salisbury. I have no problem with that whatsoever. If you just wanna bring me a pair of jeans, I'll take that too. But we will have a shoe cutting party on April the 22nd here on campus. So bring your jeans. Rocky Mount.
And the 22nd is a Saturday, you saying that's Saturday?
21st.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, I forgot about that, you're right. Thank you, John, I appreciate that.
Punch and cookies?
Cookies. Yes, cookies.
You get me there with food.
Yeah, get them there with, yeah, we're having a bake sale too, by the way, I should say that right now. Yeah, the surgical technology bake sale is next week, bring your dollars. Everything's $1.
Where you gonna have it on campus?
The sewing, shoe cutting, I'm gonna take one of the classrooms upstairs on 3rd floor here in this building. Reserve me a room, Kim.
One in the study room?
Oh, the study room.
Big enough?
I hope so. I hope it's too small. I hope it's too small.
Maybe both of them?
If we have to, we take the lab.
We'll take them all. We'll take the OR if we have to.
Let me ask this now,
Yes, sir.
is, the material only denim?
Only denim. Yeah, we're not gonna take any cloth, that's a cotton or a quilt or anything like that. The denim is far more sturdy, and so we're doing, and shorts, skirts, vests, any of that. It doesn't have to be a pair of jeans, so long as it's denim.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So what about just denim fabric? Doesn't have to be former clothes?
It doesn't have to be former clothes, absolutely not. Denim fabric will work beautifully, absolutely.
Do they want plastics donated?
We'll absolutely take milk jugs, we'll take your favorite Chinese Tupperware, we'll take, whatever you need, because we also need to take 2 of these pieces. Ooh, where did my piece go? There it is, thank you, ma'am. These 2 pieces make the heel piece on the back side of the shoe, so we do need plastic as well. We'll take milk jugs, anything like that, anything that we can make these flat pieces with.
I do recycling, so if I just bring it all to you now?
That's fine,
Okay.
that's fine. I'm gonna find a way to
Alright.
use it.
Can you use a 2-liter bottle with that?
I think we can. I'm wondering about the weight of the plastic on a 2-liter bottle, if you can get it flat enough.
And you said lids to like containers.
Cool Whip containers, cottage cheese
But
containers,
just the lid.
nice and flat. Any questions? Come to Africa, let's go pick jiggers, I'm ready.
All right. When are you going again?
I have not yet been.
Oh, okay.
I have 3 other trips in front of this one, so I'm going to, I hope to go to, Malawi in August, the Dominican Republic in September, and then this would be the next trip. But these folks are leaving every 3 months, I believe, so they leave very frequently. You can give them a call at Soul Hope, and they go all the time, sure do. Sir?
I don't know if I can come that Friday, but the plastic part,
Uh-huh.
is there, so you're trying to produce a stack of those pieces to send over to, right?
I would love to.
Is that something I can do at home, just bring you that piece?
Yeah, if I give you this pattern piece, then you can just make a whole stack
I
of
can do
them.
that while I'm watching TV.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
This one's yours.
Okay. I'll come get it.
Any other questions or anything like that?
And that's for the heel and the toe.
This is the heel piece. For 1 pair, you would need 2 of these.
Okay.
So it comes around this way.
Just make pairs of those.
Yep, just like that.
Is that milk jug?
That one is actually from a Cool Whip topping mill. And I have one here that I'm gonna
Good.
let you have for my.
Really, anything with about that consistency is
Mhm.
good. Oh, I gotta go to Gin Gin's.
That's why I call it my favorite Chinese Tupperware.
Actually,
For
I
the Chinese
just threw
takeout.
away a cracked one of these that I could've got that piece.
That's all right, that's all right. Thank you all very
Thank
much,
you,
I
thank
appreciate
you.
it.
I-
Thank you.
Simple stuff you can do. Wow. Yeah.
Just discard and.
Have your hands
I
on?
do not, I'm low tech,
You're up.
low tech.
We have it in here, we're going in.
Well,
I think we go back over there.
You're always trying to save our lights.
I had thought about our conversation yesterday, and I might want to think back some more, but I've got some thoughts. Well, we had a transportation issue, so we hit ran over on, screw.
No.
It got a tire, and so we had to go scramble around, so I.
Why not?
One of the
Chicken.
days, so I got her.
Chicken.
Off the truck.
Ma'am?
Can't drive, so I'm trying to find out.
That's all right, yeah.
I am on my second transition, I put it in the back.
Oh,
Okay.
the days of golf.
I don't
Oh,
think
yeah.
Did you keep your Jeep? Still, oh, really? That's
That's all right. Okay, good.
So it, but.
by the time I pull off the wheel,
Okay.
507,000.
Oh, 500, I had you at 300. Still, you can't, might be going to Washington.
Yeah.
Jeep, it went down.
It's funny, when I see folks driving, I'm like, you know, you went out this year, and I'm getting people, so I got 300 on two subdivisions.
I think you got Kevin Wilson, I told you he had a. Like that old thing come up there.
Yeah.
Yours looks in better shape.
Yeah, same on her, and they all.
Big neat. That's pretty awesome. I bet it fits your butt just right, right?
No, it doesn't. I had, the ceiling started doing what it does.
Yeah.
And then the butt stopped. So I took it, I asked her to bring it to the Scarborough.
No, not in Buckingham. No, I have, I'm from Snow Hill. So I have,
Oh, I know who you're talking about, I don't.
yeah, all roads cross at Snow Hill, right? Kinston, Goldsboro, you know, wherever you're going.
And also,
That's right, that's it exactly. Yeah, you just, that's right.
Oh, no, really? That's a badass man, you know, that,
My very, if you get to know, very good friend was on Harper Street because her father-in-law was Dr. Harper, who,
One day I'll.
so she now lives in the original Harper
Keep
home.
up in the collision.
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
Get around the bumpers.
It's about an hour. Yeah, not too bad.
Well, come stop and go traffic, come back.
I understand.
So I hit, bump, a guy's trailer.
Enough is enough.
Yeah, like a cliff. And so I got out, talked to the traffic. He got out, I looked at it, I said, I don't think you got any. He said, no. I said, well, you wanna just call it a day? He said, yeah, and so I just.
Please let me know if I
did,
can help.
but I just kinda kept it to myself.
Absolutely. I work here at the college. I'm here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I'm in clinicals and guided review, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays I lecture. So, yeah, I'm, if you contact me by email, I'll get right to you.
Close remarks, is gonna be back over at the barn.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah, Tuesday, Thursday afternoon would be great.
Back 3-4 months ago, and the guy asked me if I wanted to do this.
Oh, no, anytime, 2 to 5, you know, 1 to 5. I don't lecture from 1 to 5, 2 to 5, and if you need it in the evenings,
This
that's
word
church
came
function, I'll
up.
go there. Let me know. Perfect.
I'll try to let you know what we can do to help.
Super, thank you, Ms. Bottoms, I so appreciate it. Sir? Yeah, I know. Barbara's all about saving the lights and the, all of that, so. Okay, so, do you wanna sit down before I tell you what this is?
It's gonna take a little while, but
3,600.
I knew it was that, I knew it had to work 1,000 behind it, so I knew that.
Yeah. This is the trip that I have not been on yet, but I have, I really, really wanna go, and I have several, people that wanna go with me. Originally, I wanted to go and pick jiggers, and they told me that I could not. And then they found out that I do surgery, and then they were like, oh yeah, you can do it.
I can always say they're gonna smoke a cigar in here.
Oh, you thought it was an ashtray.
Oh, I
Doggone it.
ruined my whole weekend.
Yeah, spoiled again.
Yeah, no fun.
Like that right now, but someday I might have the money, and if I go, I can go.
Yeah, it's,
That's what I like to know.
One thing my father taught me, Richard Ford makes that money.